Who's that player on your team that they can't live without?
With first-round picks in addition because of the contract coming with Goff.
Every team's got it. Every NFL team has their key players that they like to build around long term. But there are some players that you especially cannot replace. And it's imperative that NFL clubs do whatever it takes to keep those players around. Not everyone can be like Bill Belichick and consistently replace big-name talent with cheaper and better options after all. Here is a dive into every NFL team's most irreplaceable player right now. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. We've seen very few NFL players or athletes, for that matter, with Murray's skill set. The guy could have pursued an MLB career if he didn't want to play football. It doesn't matter if he's undersized. He makes up for it with his world-class speed and athleticism. Murray is the most decorated and all-around talented QB this franchise has ever had. In other words, he's irreplaceable. Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts. The Falcons couldn't resist the temptation to draft the generational tight end prospect at number 4 overall in 2021. Pitts may be designated as a tight end, but his quickness, speed, and athleticism are on par with most of the game's top wide receivers. Superstar tight ends of his caliber don't come around often, which is why the Falcons need to keep Pitts around for as long as they can and do their best to build around him while they've got him. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. What more can be said about Jackson that hasn't already been said? He's the only QB in history with multiple seasons of 1,000 rushing yards. This franchise was mired in mediocrity from 2013 to 2017, before Jackson took over as the starter. With Jackson at the helm, Baltimore is an annual Super Bowl contender. Sounds pretty irreplaceable to us. Buffalo Bills Josh Allen. Since 2020, Allen has been a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. The Bills waited more than 2 decades to find a true franchise QB following Jim Kelly's retirement in 1997. Allen has answered the call, and the Bills are finally relevant again thanks to his explosive dual-threat style and his cannon of an arm. Carolina Panthers Christian McCaffrey. Run CMC is only one of 3 running backs to record both 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving yards in a season. If you think that's replaceable for whatever reason, just take a look at how the Carolina offense has functioned without McCaffrey over the last 2 seasons. Here's hoping injuries don't derail a career that was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Chicago Bears, Khalil Mack. The Bears have one of the worst rosters in the league from top to bottom, but they at least enjoy having the services of future Hall of Famer Khalil Mack, one of the game's most disruptive defenders. In the first year with the Bears, Mack guided the franchise to an NFC North Division title, thus ending an 8-year playoff drought. He also helped them sneak in as a wild card team in 2020. Indeed, the Bears won the Mack trade. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. The franchise was headed downhill fast before drafting Burrow first overall in 2020. His sophomore season was phenomenal from start to finish, and this long-suffering franchise is on a map once again because of him. Yes, they have other guys like Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, and T. Higgins, who are all keys to the team's success, but a franchise is often only as good as its quarterback, and Burrow has just opened the door to a bright long-term future in Cincy. Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett. No debating this one. Garrett is a pure game changer who helped the Browns end an 18-year playoff drought in 2020. He's right up there with the likes of Aaron Donald and TJ Watt as one of the best pass rushers in the game today. The secondary has had its issues for a while, and the Baker Mayfield-led offense is quite the roller coaster. But there's one constant in Cleveland, and that's Garrett wreaking a ton of havoc in the opposing backfield. Dallas Cowboys Micah Parsons. Tough one here between Dak Prescott and Parsons, but it's tough to argue against the latter. The Cowboys defense reached a new level of dominance in 2021, and it was largely thanks to the efforts of the rookie linebacker out of Penn State. People are already comparing the guy to Lawrence Taylor, which is all you need to know about how irreplaceable he is. You simply don't find players like Parsons very often. Denver Broncos Patrick Surtain II. The Broncos have quality contributors on both sides of the ball, but it's one of their most recent additions that they simply can't afford to lose. Drafted 9th overall in 2021, he played a huge role in helping the Broncos defense assert themselves as one of the league's best. Considering that Tyreek Hill, Hunter Renfrow, and Keenan Allen reside in the AFC West, yeah, it's a good thing Denver has a shutdown corner like him around. Detroit Lions Penei Sewell. Sewell was regarded as a generational offensive tackle, yet he surprisingly slipped to the Lions at 7th overall in the 2021 draft. Dan Campbell and company certainly aren't complaining. Sewell didn't experience that many growing pains. He was a rock for the Lions in his rookie season, and to think he's only going to get better from here. Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers. We don't want to ramble on about this one. You've seen the Packers struggle without the Rodgers in 2013 and 2017, or more recently during their Week 9 loss to the Chiefs in 2021. Green Bay better do whatever it takes to keep A-Rod around this offseason, because this team certainly can't afford to lose A-Rod right now. Houston Texans Laremy Tunsil. Sure, Bill O'Brien gave up way too much draft capital when he acquired Tunsil in a 2019 blockbuster with Miami Dolphins. But don't blame Tunsil. He's come every bit as advertised. The two-time Pro Bowler gives the sad Texans franchise at least one major building block to work with. If only they'd gotten him earlier. Indianapolis Colts, Quenton Nelson. Never mind the best guard in the league. Nelson might be the best offensive lineman in the league, or even the best non-QB after Aaron Donald. Seriously, it's not an exaggeration. All Nelson did was earn first-team All-Pro nods in each of his first 4 seasons, turning the Colts into one of the AFC's top dogs along the way. He's made life so much easier for Carson Wentz, and his efforts also helped Jonathan Taylor run away with the 2021 rushing title. Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. Please don't read too much into his rookie year. We're not even sure Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes could win with Urban Meyer and the 2021 Jaguars. Lawrence was widely viewed as the best QB prospect since Andrew Luck. As long as the Jags don't screw this entire thing up, Lawrence will live up to that sky-high potential before long. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. No need to explain this one. He's been the NFL's best player since 2018, with an MVP award, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a championship ring on his resume. Next, Las Vegas Raiders, Darren Waller. Another tough one here. But how many tight ends in the NFL are better than Waller when healthy? Waller is arguably a top 3 tight end. What a find he was for the Raiders front office. And he's a vital piece of the future as they try to get out of long-term mediocrity. Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. There's a case to be made that Herbert is a top 5 QB in the NFL right now. No exaggeration. He's been so calm, cool, and collected since his 2020 rookie season. Herbert is one of the most poised pocket passers the game has ever seen. And to think he just wrapped up year 2 and most likely hasn't hit his peak yet. Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald. The best defensive player in the NFL, and arguably one of the best defensive players ever. Donald single-handedly takes over games, even when he's getting double-teamed at the line. We haven't seen a defensive player dominate like this since Lawrence Taylor. That's saying a lot. Miami Dolphins Xavien Howard. Jalen Waddle garnered consideration here, but it's hard not to go with Howard, who has been an elite-level corner since 2018. A 3-time Pro Bowler, Howard led the NFL in picks during his 2018 and 2020 seasons, with 7 and 10 respectively. That's pretty ridiculous. Hindsight is 2020, but how is this guy only a second-round pick in 2016? Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson. Jefferson has been a record-breaking machine, and the dude has only played 2 professional seasons. His 1,400 receiving yards in 2020 were the most ever for a rookie, and then in 2021 he broke Odell Beckham Jr.'s record for most receiving yards through a player's first 2 NFL seasons. Jefferson is already making a compelling case as the NFL's best wide receiver, and he's really just getting started. See, mini fans? Sometimes you can have nice things. New England Patriots, Mac Jones. There hasn't been one position on the Patriots roster that has been lacking talent under Bill Belichick. Nobody has been better, and constantly replacing veteran stalwarts with little-known commodities who suddenly turned into superstars. So it's quite hard to put the irreplaceable tag on any single Patriots player. Then again, Mac Jones' superb rookie season helped the Pats return to contention, following a down 2020 season that was mired by poor quarterback play. Not everyone is perfectly suited for the Patriots' way, but Jones' maturity, poise, confidence, and leadership made him the perfect fit in New England from day one. And it's showing. New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara. Kamara will never challenge for a rushing title, but that's only because he's just as potent as a pass catcher than he is a runner. In Drew Brees' final 2 seasons with the Saints, the offense didn't run through the future Hall of Famer, but through Kamara. Even though defenses know where the ball is going when New Orleans takes the field, Kamara still can't be stopped. Sean Payton has had the fortunes of coaching a lot of great running backs, but none of them have been on the same level as Kamara. New York Giants, Saquon Barkley. Truth be told, there isn't an actual irreplaceable player on the Giants' terrible roster. Although I guess you could argue that there's no replacing a healthy Saquon Barkley when he gets decent run blocking, which hasn't been the case in 2021. Just try to remember the 2018 and 2019 versions of Barkley. The Giants haven't had a player dominate that much offensively since the injuries unfortunately began to mount for the star running back. New York Jets, Mekhi Becton. The Jets haven't done much right over the years, but they sure hit a home run with the Mekhi Becton draft selection. Becton has quickly grown into one of the NFL's top offensive tackles, and the guy has only played 2 seasons thus far. With Becton and Elijah Vera Tucker authorizing the O-line, Zach Wilson has no excuses. He should continue to flourish with the 2 young cornerstones blocking in front of him. Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelce. How many current NFL centers are multi-time Pro Bowlers and All-Pros with a Super Bowl championship ring, plus a clear path to Quenton? The answer? Not many. Kelce is the heart and soul of a star-studded Philly O-line that has terrorized opposing defenses for the better part of the past decade. There's no shortage of supremely talented players in Philly, but Kelce is definitely the most irreplaceable. Pittsburgh Steelers. TJ Watt. Watt has been among the NFL's top pass rushers since 2018. Not a whole lot needs to be said. There are no more than 3 defensive players in the league that you'd take over him. San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel. Since the departure of Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens, the 49ers have had a very difficult time finding 1,000-yard receivers. 2019 second-round pick Deebo Samuel, coming off a 2020 season that saw him miss 9 games, came through with a big-time breakout year in 2021. Even with inconsistent play from his quarterbacks, Samuel performed like a top 5 receiver throughout the season. When's the last time the 49ers had a wide receiver who was this explosive? T.O. maybe? Seattle Seahawks Russell Wilson. 2021 was a shaky year for Wilson, who missed time with a finger injury. You saw how sluggish the Seattle offense was during his brief absence. Pretty amazing what this guy did with a bad defense, horrendous offensive line, an inconsistent ground game for all those years in the post-Legion of Boom era. If they lose him in the offseason, things could get ugly in the Great Northwest. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady. Doesn't matter if the GOAT is in his mid-40s. He's still far and away the greatest quarterback the Buccaneers have ever had. This franchise was mired in mediocrity for more than a decade. Sure enough, Brady arrives in 2020 and leads Tampa to its 2nd Super Bowl championship. If that's not irreplaceable for you, I mean, what is? Tennessee Titans Derrick Henry. If Henry didn't suffer a foot injury mid-season, he would have cruised to a 3rd straight rushing title. How insane is that? The Titans weren't really going anywhere until they brought in Ryan Tannehill to complement Henry, who was unquestionably the NFL's best running back. Even if he retired today, there's a strong enough case for him to get into Quenton. Washington football team, Chase Young. Young was a slam dunk pick for the football team at number 2 overall in 2020. He was regarded as one of the best defensive prospects ever, and he lived up to the hype with 7.5 sacks in his rookie year. Young led Washington to a surprise NFC East Division title, nearly helping his team upset the eventual Super Bowl champion Bucs. This Washington defense should be a top-tier unit for many years to come, and it all starts with Young. This guy is going to be something special for the next decade plus. Who do you think is your favorite NFL team's most irreplaceable player right now? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, or on everything. Go subscribe, go follow. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click down below. We really appreciate it. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.